I got it now. This means that's it.
There's going to be some song that we didn't write after every song that we did.
Welcome to the Texas Country Lounge. I'm Eric Raines, Cory Morrow, John Carroll, and we want to thank our sponsors, Lone River Ranch Water. Anybody get one of those?
Nice.
Yeah, all right.
I
love it that we started on a month. Well, you quit drinking,
Can I have
man.
it? Oh, is it got boozy?
Yes,
is it
some
boozy coal in
a
it?
little boozy. All right. New album, new albums, new book. I want to talk all about that. But 30 years ago, I heard you say it this morning. Has it been 30 years since you started Cory Morrow at Texas Tech way back when?
Yeah. I went from 91 at Texas Tech, and I left in 94. I was trying to figure out the math. 5 semesters, right? So that would be... I graduated high school in the fall of 91.
Right.
Is that right? So,
Don't get me. It's
so maybe I started in 92. I guess the spring of 92 I started college. But I was the fall of 91. I don't understand how it works. I can't remember. My brain just goes to mush when I start.
So you're in college, Texas Tech. Your major is?
I started with business management.
Yeah.
And that didn't work out so good. And so then I switched to accounting, and that worked out even worse. Yeah. And then I switched to marketing. And that was like PR, public relations, like talking to people and taking them out to clubs. And I was like, that's what I want to do. And then they showed me the syllabus, and there was like 33 or 34 books that you had to read for that semester. And I was like, dyslexia. I don't want to read. I don't like reading.
When in the syllabus did you pick up a guitar and go, you know what, this is more fun. I'm getting to play in front
the whole
of some
time.
People. Right.
So my grades started to get a little bit worse each semester. And the more guitar I played, the worse my grades got. And then eventually my mom took away money, and I had to get a job. And once I got a job, that's when things really started going south. She's like, you got to pick the fraternity or school or a job. You've got to get on music. You got to get rid of something. You need to get rid of the fraternity and the music. You need to focus on And I said, no, I'm going to do the job and the music. How about those two? And she's like, no, this is not working out how I thought it was going to work out. Wait, back up. And I was like, you shouldn't have taken away the money.
We were at Music Fest in Steamboat. Anybody been to Steamboat Music Fest in here? Okay, there's a few of us.
One.
It seems like you open up sometimes and start having a great conversation. The best interview I've ever heard was on that mountain at Steamboat Springs with you and Kyle Hutton talking about the top to the bottom. But one thing that you said, and I didn't seize on it when you said it, and I listened back to the interview. Your mom and dad took you to a therapist to figure out if you could do this job or not, and talk about that.
It was a setup. So I've been seeing a therapist
Clearly.
Since I was a kid. My parents divorced when I was 3. My mom remarried when I was 11. She met Joe, my stepdad, when I was 9. And so between 3 and 9, there were different men she was bringing in, like courting, and I was like, meet these guys, and I don't know who I'm supposed to like or not like. And then my dad remarries and moves off to San Antonio, so he comes back every other weekend. So and it's my mom and my 2 older sisters, the middle sister's special needs. And so it's like growing up, I don't know what I'm supposed to look like as a man. I don't know what being a man looks like. And so I'm very confused. And so I was going through a lot, and I was very pensive and very emotional. And I was more in touch with my feelings than typical 9-year-old or whatever. And so I was seeing a therapist since I was about 9 years old. My mom had me in seeing somebody. And by the time I was 12, I was actually in a therapy session with my stepdad and like 5 other 40-year-old men as a 12-year-old having, talking about life.
That's why I seized on that.
Something's wrong with that, I think. Looking back now, I'm like, what am I doing in a room with like...
That sounds like an intervention, Cory.
They're having serious life difficulties, and I'm 12, and I'm having real difficulty with math at that point in time and social studies. But I was really just worked up about what life was supposed to be about. I was always thinking way too far ahead of my age. So therapy was just all that to say I've been in therapy a long time. So when I went to college and when I decided to quit college and to play music, and it was sort of like everything started kind of going in that direction. My grades started to get worse. I got the job. I started playing more. I started talking more about that. My grades got worse. I stopped going to class as much. Eventually, I signed up for an entire semester that I didn't attend. And she was really upset about that one. She paid for that one. She says I still owe her. Let's see. What do you think the interest is on
therapy?
That? Yeah. So therapy. So I come home, and she's like, "I'm gonna quit quit school. I'm going to play music for a living. This is what I'm going to do. She's like, you're giving up. I'm going to pay for your college, and you're giving all this up to chase down a pipe dream. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I really love it. I'm passionate about it. When I play these songs that I've written, people respond and they say they like them, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm just starting. Like, I can get better. I can learn how to sing better. I can play better. I can write better. And this is what I want to spend my life. Like, I want that to be my craft. I don't want to sit in a room doing something that I'm going to wake up one day when I'm 40 and be in a therapy session with a 12-year-old and 5 of the 40-year-olds and be frustrated with my life. I didn't want that. That's how far ahead I was thinking. So I convinced the therapist who I had had a relationship with, because he's been my therapist for like 10 years. I convinced him that it was a good idea for me to do this, and gave him like a 2-year plan. And I gave him a tape of some songs that I had written, and talked to him about what the plan was. And he was just like, this is a good plan. Like, you've thought this out. This is better than you've thought about any of your grades or school or anything. And so I'm proud of you. Let's do this. So he brought my mom and my stepdad in, and they sat on the couch with their arms folded like this nice lady right over here. and my stepdad was like this, and like, tell us what is music? When's he going back to school? Like, what's the plan? And he said, well, I think we ought to let him give this a try. And it was just like, their faces just went, and it got real quiet, like real quiet. And then my stepdad's like, we pay you $300 an hour. This is not an appropriate answer.
And here we are.
And there you go. Yeah.
I love it.
Now my mom's the biggest fan.
I'm watching some of these younger artists, the Ty Hudsons of the world. Hudson Westbrook, who just dropped out of Texas Tech and is doing great.
My man. Sorry.
Cory Morrow today, looking back on that young guy that was in therapy or whatever, working with Pat Green, watching the success start to happen. What now, 40-something, 50-something-year-old Cory Morrow, looking back, what would you tell that person? That
Stay
young,
in school.
Stay in school?
Stay in school. I've got a friend who's he's from Steamboat Springs. His name's Alan Duty, and he's a great singer-songwriter, young kid, and he just graduated from college, and he got a degree in finance, and he's got a job in Houston that's going to be amazing. It's going to pay him really well, but he's going to be doing those 80-hour work weeks, like to get into the wealth management type thing. But anyway, I told him last year, he was like, what do you think? And I said, don't stop now. You're already almost there. Get your degree, get a job. Like, if you want to do the music and you have a degree and you know how to manage your money and manage your life and manage your finances and everything else, that's good. That's going to serve you so much better than what I did. I left with just being a ding dong, and I didn't know anything. I didn't learn anything, and I didn't understand how money worked. I didn't like money, I didn't want to do it for money. But if you don't understand how money works, then it can control you, and you can waste it. And I wasted a whole lot, and I took advantage of a lot of things that, if I had stayed in school, if I had better leadership in my life, I probably would have made some better decisions. So I would tell my younger self to stay in school, get a degree, and then go chase it down. Because once you got the degree, then you can get a job doing almost anything, and you could figure out how to weave the music in there. But I was thinking, I'm 21, 22, and all my friends are, about halfway through college, and I pretty much in 5 semesters have accomplished 1 semester worth of school.
Sounds familiar.
I was just behind, so stay in school.
You have accomplished a lot. We'll talk about that. You got a book on the way. I want to talk about the book and a brand new album. And you're gonna get back with Pat Green to do another album. We'll talk about that as well coming up. Play us another song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That song. Talk about that song and the guy that helped you write that. Y'all listening this morning? Anybody listening? We talked about.
I was listening.
Corey was on this morning. Keith Gaddis, who helped you co-write that song. We lost Keith a couple of years ago in a terrible accident and lost Charlie Robinson, who, of course, wrote El Cerrito, or Keith wrote El Cerrito Place for Charlie, and then Kenny Chesney. And so when people say, that's a Kenny Chesney, I'm going to stop. Please stop.
Well, he's got some other, George Strait covers some of his songs. I mean, he was just an amazing songwriter for one thing, but he was also an incredible musician and producer, human being, and family man. He was just and friend. He was just everybody loved him, and everywhere he went, in every community that he went into, he made people feel included and loved. And he was just like, if you want to be like a beautiful Christ-like person, he was that. He was amazing. So, getting the chance to to know him and call him my friend was a beautiful blessing. And it was February of 22. I went up to Nashville and hadn't seen him in a couple of years, and so it was good to hang out with him. And we just sat down and started telling him kind of what I was trying to do. I was trying to write a new album and have songs that were reflective of what was going on in my life, and I wanted to have something that felt kind of Waylon Jennings-esque, and was thinking like the Sure Hank Done It This Way kind of feel for a song. And so we talked about that a little bit, and so we kind of stole that rhythm pattern and just try to keep the chord progression simple, and then to go through like what it was like on the road, and then what it's like now on the road, and then I don't know. It's always a conversation. To write a song with somebody about what's going on in your life is a great conversation. Usually we like to go to lunch and get a little bit of food in us and a little bit of tea, and we just start talking about life, and you just start sharing and opening up and becoming transparent with each other, and good stuff starts to come out. And a lot of times as you're talking and like sharing your life, you'll say things and phrases, and we'll look at each other and go, "Ooh, write that down," and then go home, and that becomes part of the song.
Part of the song that'll be a part of an album in September?
Yeah, the album will drop in September.
And I did hear you say, because I saw Cory and John, and you got a fabulous band, always have, play Saturday night at Chef's Barbecue in my hometown of Belton, talking about how the music gets out now and how much it's even changed in the last 2 to 3 years. And like, I don't even know what it's supposed to be. Like, do we release a whole album, or are we supposed to reach streams, or is it the DSPs? For you guys, that's clearly changed in the 30 years you've been playing this game.
Yeah, it's constantly we're just playing a dance. We're just trying to stay on the iceberg that's still floating. We just don't know what the next step is as technology changes and people change the way that they consume music. And the one thing that really stays the same is the live shows, and you can't do much about that. So that's a positive that we have some sort of control over. But as far as making music, instead of selling a widget, which would be the CD, and having it be an album that people look forward to, and there's notes, and there's art, and there's hidden stuff in there, and you take the album and you explore it, and you listen to it over and over again, and you fall in love with different pieces of it, musically and lyrically. People are more their tendency is more towards just to getting one song at a time. And so we're doing that. We're giving people one song at a time, but we're also going to have an actual LP vinyl record of from going forward. That's sort of our commitment, is like, we're going to make vinyl record. We're going to have artwork. We're going to have notes. All the lyrics are going to be on there, and we're going to do it the way we've always done it, and hope that our fans will want that and buy that. But the whole process is very strange, and I don't like it, but you work with what's in front of you.
You talked about writing and life in a book, and the last time we talked, you were true. I'm going to put a book together. You have always been one that would tell your whole story. There's a lot of people that will hide behind some things, hide behind their faith. They'll talk about it, but you have been one that shared everything. Like, I screwed up. Here's how. You even told me at one point you were going to do a coffee book table, or a coffee table book with your
coffee tables.
Yes. He's going to make coffee tables and release those. No, a book that with your mug shots on them, and the cover would be all your mug shots. And you said you had 13 of them. Will that be the cover of the book?
No. But do you want to know why?
Did somebody shoot that idea down?
No.
You couldn't find all the...
Right. So as most of my arrests were late 90s, early 2000s. But most of them were from 95 to 99. And when everything shifted in 2000, they updated, and they went from the physical copies and with file drawers, file cabinets, to putting it on digital. And if you didn't commit a serious crime and you were just arrested, like I was, for a speeding ticket that went to a warrant, I didn't go to court to pay my speeding ticket, so it turned into a warrant. That was a lot of my arrests. And so those were not serious crimes. And so you get your mugshot and fingerprints and everything every time you go, but they're like, if it's not a serious crime, we've got his name, we got his fingerprints, we don't need his mugshot.
Hey, it's Cory again.
So they threw him away. Yeah, exactly. There's a couple at the Travis County downtown.
The part that I love about sharing the warts and everything is the faith part, and you've shared that, and you haven't been afraid to. And Cory and I laugh because we have the same cross, and mine's bigger, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, but I got a backup. Hey. I got both kinds.
But it is part of what you do on and off the stage, and you talk about that and getting in trouble and what led that, the faith part with your wife when she called you and said, "This is it. It's me or this life that you live out there." Talk about that, because you've been one that's not afraid to get on a microphone at a drunken bar when people are having fun and say, "This is the way I live, and this is what keeps me smiling." Talk about that faith that keeps you on stage and keeps you happy.
Everybody's having fun, and I come in and start talking about Jesus. Debbie the Downer. Wah, wah.
I think that's part of you, though. That's what I see as you.
I'm Debbie the Downer?
No, the faith part, the part that's keeping you happy.
Well, that's it, and it's like the first thing they tell you when you fall in love with the Lord is to go share that with you're mandated to go share the gospel, and that's the good news. And what's the good news is that there's salvation for every one of us, and that there's a God and He loves us, and that we need to believe and step into that belief, and then start having a relationship with Him by praying to Him and reading and go through this whole spiritual thing that I think every single person on the planet wants to believe that there's something more than just what we can see, and I've experienced it, and it's very real, and my desire now is to go share that with everybody, and so it's a beautiful thing, because I did not set this up. We've had so many years of being able to play music in front of people and a fan base of people that want to come see us live, and I got a microphone and they don't, and so I take advantage of that for a couple of seconds, and I just tell people that they're loved. I try to keep it simple. John plays a little bit of Nothing But the Blood of Jesus or Amazing Grace or something on the guitar, while I just tell people, I've been doing this for 30 years, and I was chasing after the wrong thing for a long time, but I finally found something worth chasing after, and it's the truth, and the truth is that you're loved, and you can't earn it, and it won't ever leave you, and truth is named Jesus, and if you want to know about it, I'll be at the merch table after the show, and if you do know about it, tell everybody you know, and I try to keep it short and sweet. Sometimes I talk too much, like right now, and it goes over pretty well. People, like I said, I think everybody wants to have a conversation about that on some level, and so people will come up to the merch table and they'll ask if they can pray for me, or they ask if I'll pray for them, and they'll just start talking to me about it, or they'll tell me, "Thank you for being bold in your faith." But it's been 12 and a half years, and since I really gave my life to Him, and I'm much more unabashed to have conversations about it, much more eager to go out. Like, that's the reason I leave the house, is to go say His name from the stage, and that's it. If I don't say the name of Jesus from the stage, I feel like I've failed. And there's been a few times where we're doing like private concerts, and it's, people aren't there for that at all, and we're sort of background music, and then I'll just be like, "Jesus," and
which is why I brought it up.
Jesus loves you.
I wouldn't feel right if I didn't bring the faith part of it up, and I don't think it's just a part. It's who you are right now.
No, exactly.
Now, I wouldn't ask you to break into Big City Stripper right here, but the dichotomy of that is the transition into what you've become. The book coming out, is there? I know you said you had ghostwriters. Is it a real thing now, or is it somewhere out there?
It's happening. No, it's totally happening. There's been 3 chapters that have been rewritten, and they're beautiful. And so it's about a 10 or 12 chapter book. So we're, like I said, we're about a fifth of the way through it. If I'm in my math, see, I told you I should stay in school. But it's definitely coming along, and we get a couple chapters, and then it's like there's this lull. So I'm picking up the phone. I'm like, "Hey, finish," because I'm not actually the one physically writing it. I have said every single word that's going to be written, but it's being written from everything that I said into a form where you guys will be like, "Oh, this is good. This is entertaining." Because if you listen to me just talk and they use those words and put that into a book, you'll be like, "Shut up."
Will there be pictures?
Engaging. The
scratch
writing
and sniff.
Needs to be engaging.
Pop up.
Definitely pop
come
up.
On. Play some other song.
This is his old dog.
Before I get to ask a few more questions, any questions out there? Is there a question on your mind? You can ask it. Now's the time. If you have a question, anyone, go ahead.
You said that
Duckrubber.com.
you said that your mom didn't want you to go into music. I take it now that she's quite happy that you did that.
You are correct. Yes, she very much did not like this plan at the beginning, and it took a while. It took a little bit of I moved to Austin and started working for a courier company right off the bat because I was trying to find a job that my stepfather owned a courier company, and I worked for him growing up through junior high and high school in the office, and I'd worked downtown as a bicycle messenger. I worked running around Houston in my truck, and so I was familiar with all the ins and outs and the workings of a courier company. And so when I moved to Austin, I was like, that's the one thing that I'm pretty confident in that I can help that business because I know multiple stages of how it works. So I found this job and convinced the guy. I really did. I had like suspenders on. I had my fraternity outfit on, purple shirt, red paisley purple tie. Thank you, sir. I'll steal one of those. And purple suspenders. And I walked in. I basically told the guy, I was like, "You need me." And he goes, "Well, I'm not really hiring right now." I was like, "You're gonna want to have me in your business. Like it's gonna benefit you to have me. I promise." And he's like, "Well, okay." It's just like, these aren't the droids you're looking for, but yeah, I did the old Jedi mind trick on him. But and so I worked for him for 6 years, from like 94 to 2000. And during that time, I would get depressed and I wouldn't show up at work because like things weren't working out, and he'd fire me. And then I'd come back a few months later when money ran out and beg for my job back, and he'd take me back. And then I'd quit. Things were getting good, and then the money would run out again. I had to go back, and this went on for 6 years. He was an amazing, like very understanding and forgiving guy. And so it took a while, but then like around 99, 2000, I finally quit for the last time, and things were really starting to take off, and the records were coming out. We did the double live exposure. Pat and I were doing songs we wish we'd written, so things had really started to take off, and it was around that time. Like my mother, she was supporting me from that point until that point, but she still was like kind of had in the back of her mind hope that I would go back to college and that I would get my act together, and I would not be that son that she had to be like, "Oh yeah, and this is my son, Cory." But now she's very proud of me. She wears my T-shirts. She's like walking around. Got my hat on, my T-shirt on. If I had underwear, she'd probably wear that.
And you gave her 5 grandkids. That's probably...
I gave her 5 grandkids. That's right. She's very happy about that.
Yeah.
She likes that a lot.
You mentioned Pat Green. For people that don't understand the story of Pat Green and Cory, there was a scene. There was a scene happening. We can go back to Robert Earl and Jerry Jeff, but I don't remember in the 90s that it taking off the way it did when it took off for you and Pat. Mm-hmm. Even now, I mean, the doors that you guys open, and yes, we can go back and we can say Robert Earl and Jackie Ingram, but the way y'all were doing it was a little bit different back then. And I just remember going to the shows, and I would see just people filing in, and it reminds me a lot of what I'm seeing right now with Ty and maybe with Parker. It was the place to be, a Cory Morrow and a Pat Green show. Fast forward where we are now, and Pat Green and Cory Morrow's careers. And I've had the conversation with Pat in studio, and he was like, "I remember when I was Pat Green." And
Did he say that?
Oh yeah. Or Jack saying, "I remember when I was Parker McCollum." Just the heist of the career.
Yeah.
Back to songs we wish we'd written and how huge that was. Mm-hmm. And you're about to do it again. Yep. Can you look back now and realize, will you allow yourself, and I've asked Pat Green this same question, to realize how many people that Cory Morrow, on some level, in your band over the years, has influenced the music that we get to have today?
I feel like I'm a different place than those two guys. Those guys had like some pretty super fame, and I don't really ever consider myself to have gotten to that level of popularity. We definitely had some popularity and some success, and I'm so grateful that I get to do this like for a living. But I just look at it differently. So it's hard for me. I guess looking back, my focus was more on what I could get out of it, and I think I was a pretty okay, nice guy, but I also know that I was pretty selfish. So I don't know who I influenced in a good way or bad way. Apparently, this guy's going to quit college and play music, so that's not good. I don't know if I influenced that or not, but there are lots of people that come up on a regular basis and say that that like we were a part of their past, we were a part of their college times, and so our music was put on with Pat's and Kevin's and Rogers and Jack's and Robert Earl Keen's. Like there was like a playlist that they had when they would get in the truck and go to the river, or get in the truck and go hunting, or get in the truck and go wherever they're going. And we were part of the soundtrack of their lives. And that's the cool part for me, is to be included in that, and to have that honor of what we all kind of experienced together. This, like you said, it was this wave. It was really nuts. I mean, I know that it was happening back in the day with when Willie moved to Austin, and and there were all these musicians, and so it's sort of another generation of that kind of stuff, but a little bit different scene, because everybody changes in the generations as you get. I think as the generations go on, we become less and less cool. I think Waylon Jennings' generation, that they were the last of the cool, But Parker's bringing back cool. I think he's very cool. I don't know Ty very well, but hopefully he's cool.
He's 17.
He's not cool. I don't know. He's probably not cool.
He's selling out arenas,
But
or
it's
he's
like-
selling out shows everywhere.
Everybody's trying to get back to that cool, and I am not. I know I'm a dork, and so that's okay. But I enjoy entertaining people. I just want people to laugh. I feel like I'm the jester, and I also feel like if I can get you to laugh, then I can talk to you about something a little bit on a deeper level. So it's a little bit of a strategy, but I don't know. I don't know who I've influenced, but to be a part of people's soundtrack of their lives is a total honor. So I'm very grateful for that.
Songs we wish we'd written 20 or 25 years. How long?
It was 2001. It was January 2001. We released
math
it
again.
at. We released it Steamboat Springs at the Music Fest.
And so I heard you say over the weekend there will be a songs we wish we'd written 3 or a wish.
Yeah. Well, it was a touchy subject. My feelings got hurt because he went and did a songs we wish we'd written album without me. I got to sing on it on one song, but he sort of took it and went and did it. He goes, "There's nothing wrong with that," and I was like, "There's kind of something wrong with that." So we still go back and forth. It's a joke between us. Like my feelings aren't hurt anymore, but he's
Hitting on the level.
He's sensitive about it because he's afraid that I'm still hurt about it. But I'm not. And anyway, we're gonna do another one, and I don't know what we're gonna call it, but I thought it'd be funny to call it More Songs We Wish We'd Written, or instead of 3 or 2, to sort of avoid that whole sensitive issue. We'll just call it More or Another Songs We Wish We'd Written. So.
Love it. All right, before we move on, another question? Go ahead.
So, you mentioned Robert Earl.
This is for you. Oh.
Coming out of College Station.
Yeah.
People come out here. What's the deal with Lubbock? I mean,
Isn't that weird?
bunch.
I have no idea. I think it's because it's so far away from anything, and we were so bored. There's nothing to do. Like, I mean, okay. So when I got there, strip clubs were cool to me, and so there was one strip club, and then there was a total nude club on the outskirts of town, and you couldn't buy liquor at 7-Eleven or beer at 7-Eleven. You had to go to the strip. The strip was like on the outskirts of town. It looked like Vegas. It was this one piece of road with, I think, 15 different liquor stores right all next to each other, and they're all
Love
lit up.
everybody.
There's
They're
lights
shaking their
everywhere.
head like, yeah.
And it was called the Strip, and you only go there at night because that's when it was really cool looking. And don't go there with a fake ID because they always take it, and they did. And it was just a different time. But the point is, like, it was either go to the strip club or go to the liquor store and then go to the strip club. Probably that. But there wasn't a lot to do, and we were trying to find something to do, and so we ended up sitting around a fire and playing guitar and becoming, just singing about life out there. I don't know why, as time's gone on, that, like, you got Wade Bowen, right, and Josh Abbott and William Clark Green.
Flatland, we can go this all day.
Right. So you do it because it's like, it's crazy to me. But there was also the school out there, the South Plains College of Music, that started to happen after I got to school. It happened, I think, in the mid to late 90s. Guys started going to school there, and they started learning how to play the instruments and learning about music. And then they were learning about the country music that we were growing up on, the Jerry Jeff and the Robert Earl and the Steve Earle, and just going way back even before them to stuff that Willie was listening to. And so they were getting schooled on really cool country music and coming up with their own. And you combine that with the boredom of Lubbock. And I guess you've got all these guys, but William Clark Green it's just I think he's just incredibly talented. He's one of the best singer-songwriters, storytellers. Cracks me up. I mean,
There's some purity out there in West Texas too. You pointed out there's nothing to do. Blue light, a lot of people point to that. South Plains and with Leanne Womack and the Maines family out there.
oh yeah, Lloyd is like the godfather for us. I don't know if y'all y'all know who Lloyd Maines is, but Natalie Maines from the Dixie Chicks. It's her dad. Lloyd's been the producer and steel player. He played steel with Jerry Jeff and Joe Ely and just Robert Earl, everybody. He's been on everybody's records. He's produced all of our live records, produced all of our studio records. I mean, Pat's first several records were Lloyd Maines Productions. Everything but my first one was Lloyd Maines production. And so he took all of us under his wing. He worked for a price per day. He didn't want a piece of your record. He didn't take points on the back end. So like when Pat sold a gajillion records, Lloyd got paid to make the record and that's it. And whereas any other producer that you come across will say, I want this per day and I get points, which means they get a percentage of whatever you sell for perpetuity, for the rest of their lives, the rest of your life. And so it's just sort of like this is mine. I got my stamp on it, so I'm gonna. And I think from a business perspective, I think that's probably okay. But also, I think there's a little bit of just like, hey man, you did your job and you got paid for it. I don't know. It's tough. It's a conversation to have. I don't really have a problem with it, but Lloyd just didn't see it that way, and he was just like, I want you to succeed. I don't need to succeed because you succeed. Like, but if I do my job right, you will. And it's like, wow. And he got so many of us kept coming to him. It was as generations came on, they all went to Lloyd, and so he's still booked solid. I mean, you gotta fight to get some time with him.
Any other question? One more.
Did I answer your question?
I think you did.
So, having followed you for multiple years and seeing your band, the one thing that stayed consistent overall is your band sitting right next to you.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that?
Well, he left me. He left me for 5 years to go play with Joe Nichols. Well, I had shot myself in the
Chris
foot.
Cagle?
I shot myself in the foot in 05, February of 05. I was arrested for DWI and possession of cocaine here in Austin. And that was when, that was kind of the height of everything. We had a Anheuser-Busch deal. We had a Dodge sponsorship and clothing sponsorship. I had all these things happening, and we were making records, and money was coming in, and things were great. But I was like so unhappy and so depressed, and I was doing drugs to try to like make myself feel better. And I ended up running up Mopac one night and got arrested, and was It ruined everything. It killed all my sponsorships, and we had gigs with high schools for graduations and stuff, and they called up and they canceled because they're like, we can't be associated with a guy like you, and and it crushed me. But at that time, things were going so good, and John, everybody was being well taken care of. I was loving on everybody, and I had to go to John and say, man, I've lost a lot. I don't know what it's going to look like going forward, but I can't keep paying you what you're worth. I have to cut your pay. And he's like, okay, all right. And he stuck with me for a little bit, but it's a fine. When you get your finances cut in half, you kind of have to start making other decisions. And he made a decision because he had offers, as you can imagine, and so he moved to Nashville and went and chased down another thing that he was trying to do. And so you correct me if I'm saying anything that's wrong, but there's no ill will whatsoever. He's one of my favorite people in the whole world, one of my best friends, and I consider him my brother. And so that he left for like 5 years, and then things got better. Y'all not telling anybody about that. But then I called him up, and things were getting better, and my life had taken a turn for the better. And I was like, man, I want you, if you can, I'd love for you to come back, and I can pay you. Not what I used to pay you, but more than what I did pay you. And anyway, so that's it, man.
It took a dove hunting trip down in South Texas with my brother to kind of see. I was like, man.
Oh yeah, that's right. He missed it.
I'm in this brush country with a shotgun, and there's HEB and Whataburger here. Yeah, I'm moving on.
Coming home, yeah. He'd been in Nashville too long, and it was pretty rough. Nashville's rough. Nashville's like Vegas for music.
Carol is a monster guitar player. Anytime that Cory is going to come in studio, I'm like, hey, can you bring John with you? When I go see him live, I go stand on John's side to hear him play guitar. You do have but it's not just John. You got a great band.
It's inspiring. It's like inspires me to go home and practice. You know?
Yeah. Plus, he attacks his guitar, which I absolutely love. You are seeing a world-class guitar player up here. I always love to hear John play. Ladies and gentlemen, Cory Morrow, thank you for coming in today. John Carroll over here on the guitar. Give him a hand. Thank you all for giving up your lunch, coming and hanging out. I want y'all to take a picture with Cory and John, and if you'd like one, and grab something on the way out. If you don't have our app downloaded, please download the app.
I
Please
have it downloaded.
Thank you. I'm going to have to check before we get out of here because I don't believe you. I want to see it on your phone before.
Right here, baby.
All right. Well, I don't trust you, Cory Morrow.
Why? Have I proven?
Oh, there it is. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Cory Morrow. I did see it. Give him a hand right there. He has the app. And when you hear that we're having one of these sign up for, maybe it's a brand new artist that you've never heard before. I love the fact that you come up here and consume music on maybe your day off or a Monday after Father's Day. So thank y'all for being a part of these, and thanks for listening to 95.9 Texas Country and Cory Morrow. Give him one more hand. Thank you, guys.